boarded up. 450 houses here. The local authority have wanted to knock them down for about 10 years now, but the government stepped in and said you can't knock them down. Has anyone seen the programme on television called Peaky Blinders? So they actually filmed the whole 3 series actually in this next street. This was actually Birmingham in the series Peaky Blinders. But this next street, Badden Street, is far more important to us because this is where Ringo was born, or Richard Starkey. He was born at number 9 Madden Street, so the 5th door down on the left. It's got a little bit of green paint there. Now, Ringo, the oldest of the Beatles, born the 7th of July 1940, and he was born at that house there. He lived there with his mother and father, Richard and Elsie, but when he was 3 years old, his mother and father split up. The dad actually moved out the house, moved into number 59. He moved back in with his parents. So that meant Elsie now was not only stuck next to her ex-husband, but the dreaded in-laws as well. It wasn't good. She had to wait till just after the Second World War to get an exchange. So she moved from number 9 Madden Street all the way across the road to number 10 Admiral Grove. Now if you look down where the gold railings are, it's the White House with the pink round the windows, if you can see that. Don't worry at the back, we'll move up for you in a minute so that you can see it. But Ringo spent the next 18 years of his life down in that house, right up to 1963. He had all his formative years there, he had his main birthday parties there. Even his 21st birthday party, he still wasn't with the Beatles, he was with a band called Rory Storm and the Hurricanes, so they were at his party. Jerry and the Pacemakers, the Big Three, Cilla Black, lots of famous people, but not the Beatles yet. But his mother used to come back from this pub and sing all the old songs to Ringo when he was grown up. And when the Beatles split up in 1970, as a tribute to his mother, Ringo brought the first solo album out. It was called Sentimental Journey, and that is the album cover, that pub, the Empress pub. Has anyone got that album? No, you can Google it. You'll see Ringo standing in the doorway where that fella's standing, but not with a ciggy in his hand. And you'll see his grandmother in the other doorway. It didn't do very well in this country, to be honest, because it was all cover versions, Bye Bye Blackbird, Whispering Grass. In America, it sold 500,000 copies in the first week. That's why Ringo likes America. Okay. Now, when Ringo was 5, he got that terrible news, he had to go to school. So the school he went to is just on your left there. St Silas Church of England Primary School. But you know what? Considering he only lived over the road, he hardly spent any time in school. He was a very sickly child. And all in all, I think he spent over 2 years in hospital at various different points of his childhood. When he was 6 years old, he had peritonitis and nearly died. Septic appendicitis. When he was in secondary school, he had pleurisy and tuberculosis. So really major serious illnesses, you know. They would have took a lot of children's lives back around about that time, but you know, Ringo survived it, and a lot of people say Ringo was the luckiest guy in the world. Not only did he survive his childhood, but he got in the Beatles as well. How lucky was Ringo to get in the Beatles? But you know what, Ringo would tell you a different story. He would tell you, actually, the Beatles were lucky to have him, because he was the best drummer around at the time. His classmate, funnily enough, went on to become one of the biggest rock and rollers in this country. His name was Ronald Wycherley, otherwise known as Billy Fury. Anyone heard of Billy Fury? Yeah? Yeah, that's it. There's a statue at the Albert up there. Billy Fury was probably the Elvis Presley of England, really. He was the big, huge star in this country. Another sickly child, don't believe it or not. Now, Ringo didn't actually join the Beatles till the August of 1962. He was the final piece of the jigsaw. But in August 1960, the lads were off to Germany. Alan Williams was the manager. He got them a gig for 4 months, but they didn't have a drummer. The original drummer, Colin Hanton, left the band in 1958. He wasn't replaced, to be honest with you. He'd done a tour of Scotland in early 1960 as the Silver Beatles.